What was the last thing I was arrested for? I'm trying to remember. I do go into these murderous rages. Well, I don't anymore. But I went for about 5 years. I went into these murderous rages. I'm trying to remember. There's always a point on what I'm arrested on. The one I can remember was doing housework at Kenny's house. I got arrested for that. I'm trying to remember them. Some interesting ones. It was a point I'm arrested on. They're all similar to that. They're all similar to that. And to do with that Jedi pattern of life, if I put this on YouTube and it is seriously not interesting, I wish that one. Well, sometimes I get arrested. I'm not on a murderous rage, it's just a misunderstanding. And I did get arrested at Kenny's house for doing his housework.
These
I'm trying to remember the other things. It's hard to remember. I've been arrested a lot. I was in prison a long time. Wow, I was in prison 3 months. I tell you that, well, it was back in the days when I could still be good looking. I was actually good looking when I was younger, surprisingly it may seem. Not many people believe me there. I think I'm making it up, but I do have pictures. No, I was good looking, and when I ran away and I was on the streets, I lost all the weight. Because I was off the medication. And I went 3 months practically without eating. I lost all the weight. I looked fantastic. I really did look good looking. Well, anyhow, I ended up getting put in prison. And due to some sort of bureaucratic error, I was put in A block, where they put the worst criminals. Mostly murderers. They would have been all murderers. And I tell you, it was a bit awkward. Well, I walked in there, and obviously they always, check out the new inmate. I told you. This is where elocution lessons really go against you. Because an expert would say, after all those years of American elocution lessons, I don't only have the English public school accent, I have a touch of clipped Ivy League. Which is the American upper class accent. Like Obama speaks Ivy League. That very clipped, very neat, very tidy American accent. It's very pleasant. And I have a touch of that, and that expert will be able to tell that I have a touch of that. I have the posh public school accent with a touch of Ivy League. Hello, I said. The problem is, they do that to you when you're younger. They make that your accent. You cannot change it. And I do have a problem. People say I have a very loud voice. I don't know. I'm only told off for having a loud voice. Jokes are made about my loud voice. I don't know. I do try very hard to lower it, and it's to do with my larynx. It's only so much I can lower my voice. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I do have a very loud voice, and I find it hard to whisper and lower it. They may be right, in which case I'm stuck with it. It's to do with my larynx. I am totally stuck with it. I keep trying to apologise. That I don't have a quiet voice. I probably don't. I wish I did. I'd give my eye teeth to have a quiet voice. You're stuck with what you're born with. How did I do in prison? Prison was nowhere near as bad as psychiatric hospital. I tried to stay there. Tried to get out of going back to psychiatric hospital. Nowhere near as bad as psychiatric hospital. But it was quite bad. Well, me being the posh girl, I was opposite the daddy at the prison, how it works in prisons is one of the inmates, the daddy, they're in charge. And she took great offence to me because, well, I think the accent was the main problem. She took great offence to me. And despite, well, the first night I went in, I had one of my schizophrenic rages. And I spent all night, it's quite hard to smash up a prison cell. Alright, but I spent all night smashing it up because I wanted a cigarette. And they were refusing me one. And I just spent the entire night smashing up the cell, and I'm very strong. And I did manage eventually to smash up the whole cell. So they had to move me out the cell and replace all the staff. It's one of those murderous rages, where all the stuff you're saying, is basically... Oh, people find it scary. I was locked in a cell, so, I'd had a very hard time on the streets. I could let rip. I wouldn't be able to hurt anyone. I was locked in the cell, so I just took it out on the furniture. Well, the prison guard the next day, he came and opened the door, and he was very surprised because prison cells are designed in a way that you're not supposed to be able to smash the furniture. And he told me that, and he said, "You've turned the whole lot to matchsticks." I had done quite a lot of damage. Through contamination throughout the whole night. Well, that's when Lisa took me on. She was opposite me in A block. I think she'd killed her mother. Yeah, Lisa had killed her mother. Some sob story. Some sort. They all had sob stories. They were all the victim. Something or other. And I got to know them in A block. They weren't such a bad bunch, But Lisa, she just didn't like, I was schizophrenic, they soon found out. I had a posh accent, I was sticking out like a bloody sore thumb. It was a bureaucratic error because I was in there for stealing a meal at a restaurant. And they didn't know where to put me or what to do with me, so they shoved me in prison. The only cell available was one in A block, from what I gather. Anyhow, Lisa took serious offence at me. And she took me on. And I was constantly being pestered and followed about by her and her heavies. And I just didn't. I didn't want to stick out. I just didn't do that. Stay there and try and stay out of psychiatric hospital. I was becoming ill. I would have no choice at some point. I'd have to go back to psychiatry. I knew that. I was going to try and stay there as long as possible. And stay quiet in my cell. I didn't want any trouble. Well, I'll tell you about it in the next video.